This is the year of wake up and smell the competition. Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack. Ain't no stopping me now.
I'm gonna make sure he go right out the ring, and I might get on the top of the bucket of the rope and come down with a flying elbow kick.
I'm going to cut him and see how he feels like it. I'm going to see if he's going to get up off the floor. I don't think he's got the bottle, minerals, bollocks, whatever you want to call it. He ain't got it. He's an on-top fighter. He's a bully fighter. And when a bully gets bullied, he folds every single time.
What is that song? I believe the Beatles had it. Is all you need is one. Deontay Wilder just needs one shot, and it's game over.
Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you.
Second is laughing because he got beat up so bad.
Yes. What is up? MCR family? Another like semi-daily show. Like we did a show Friday? Right, Gary? It was Friday, right? So semi-daily, it's Sunday now. Look at us. Almost like an unusual schedule. But yes, we're going to be breaking down all of the news today in the boxing world, plus having a evergreen topic. The top 5 prospects / who are the next superstars in boxing, plus who are the biggest hype jobs in the sport right now. I got to say, as I know each of our lists already, Rob and Gary do not know each other's list or my list, but I know everyone's list. There's some hot takes already that's going to come. And I'm preparing everyone for that biggest hype job conversation. Just prepare yourselves. It's Rob's ready to pod today. That's for damn sure. But without further ado, let's get to the illustrious panel. Mr. Robbie Hearns, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie in the UK. Rob, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Still no lockdown in the UK. We got some great advice today that, go out into the parks, exercise is good for the health, but, social distance. But if anyone's seen any of the pictures from the UK, there's no distance going on. But, just at the end, but we do advise you to stay at home, protect the NHS and help save thousands of lives. So just stay at home, people. Just stay at home. We'll ride this out. We're going to have some great content. I don't know about great, but I'm just going to put it out there. I kind of put these lists out there.
We all did this in like
knowing it will probably provoke. But I'm not thinking clearly right now. There's a global pandemic, so.
And Rob, to give you some slack here, okay. When I saw your list, I immediately went and changed my list because mine wasn't hot take-ish enough. So I had to go and change it up because it wasn't right. My list was exactly like Gary's, but I was like, no, that's too milquetoast for me.
If you remember, the rule is if you go along with Gary, you're usually wrong.
It's true. Without further ado, Gary in Dallas. Gary, how are you, man?
The parks is interesting, right? Because me and my wife had this talk. Like, you probably shouldn't take your kids if they're gonna climb on like the jungle gym equipment, but like just go into the park, like. Central Park's probably a bad idea because there's 8 trillion people there. But like, if you just have a park in your community, I don't know. What do you guys think that'll be okay? Like to get out for a little bit?
Did you hear what they did in Ohio?
No.
They closed the playgrounds, like the park playgrounds, but not the parks.
That's
work around that one as a parent. Like, no, we can only go to the grass over here, not to the monkey bars. That's closed.
But
stay home with your kid. Trust me. That's an argument you do not want.
Journalist actually said to Boris Johnson, "Have you actually been to the park with a kid?" Tried to tell him like you can't go on that, or or to keep away from the other 5-year-old that he wants to play with.
Yeah, 6 feet away from all the kids. Do not play with them. Just stay home.
Yeah,
Again, I
go
wouldn't.
home then, Dad. Let's just go home. What's the point?
Well, yeah, you can shoot baskets. You know, I don't know. You guys have baseball fields. You can do batting practice, things like that.
Wait, I was about to say you don't shoot baskets on a baseball field, right? What the fuck?
Well, a lot of times parks have basketball
Yeah.
hoops and baseball diamonds.
No, but
So
didn't the
you could
governor
do one or the other or both.
Hey guys,
didn't the governor of New York say that you can't play basketball 6 feet, 6 feet apart from your opponent? Well, you can, but you'd be really bad
Yeah,
at it.
but they're my kids. Like we're stuck in the same house anyway. So I wouldn't play basketball like 5-on-5 with strangers.
but think of this: you're getting a basketball, slamming it down into the pavement, picking it up. That's terms, you know.
All right. I didn't think of all that.
You didn't think of all this. Come on.
And for the quality of the show, I hope your children are currently 6 feet away from you at the moment.
They are 6 feet away from me, and the door's closed. So
Yeah, damn right. Dwayne in the chat, it's a great idea because it's true. Just buy your kid a PlayStation. They'll never go outside again.
iPad.
Yes. My kid has found out like Lego video games, and he just has been glued to them all.
you see, what I did was I turned the volume off, and I turned the subtitles on. Bang! Now my kids are reading.
See, I put on subtitles hoping that would help. I didn't actually turn the sound down. But digressing, we should get to some boxing, guys, because that's what this show's about. And so, adding to what we're doing during a worldwide pandemic. Let's get to the next superstar debate and discussion here. We each did a top 5 list. Okay, I'm going to give my top 5, Rob, then Gary can sort of go in order. And then we're going to debate sort of the total list because there is a tie at the number 1 spot. And then we're going to talk about who is really in that discussion and who should be in that discussion, who shouldn't be in that discussion, etc.
Are we doing it like you 5, my 5, Gary's 5, then your 4, my 4, his 4?
No. Full 5.
Oh, okay. All right.
Full 5. So I'm gonna go through my 5 through 1. You're gonna go through your 5 through 1, etc.
Were you not paying attention during the pre-show meeting when we discussed this very
No,
topic?
I paid attention to the 20 heavyweight show that you did, and you done it the way I just said. That's all.
Yeah, and then I
Whoa.
so no, the answer is no, you didn't listen to this.
See, like I've been saying before the show started, Gary's on his Goodfellas mood right now. Okay, I'm not fucking with him. I don't want the smoke.
Bring it. I've got a good list.
You might
I'm ready for this.
next time, man. I'm good. My number 5, Shakur Stevenson. My number 4, Devin Haney. My number 3, Ryan Garcia. My number 2, Daniel Dubois. My number 1, Teofimo Lopez. Why I have in that order briefly, and then we want Rob's top 5. I think Shakur Stevenson is in a worse sort of standing in terms of his top-ranked stablemate, Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is about to fight Vasily Lomachenko, and if he beats Lomachenko, that is a superstar-making performance right now. Shakur Stevenson is some time away, plus he's in a division that is a little less star-studded. Devin Haney, I think he has such a natural following around him already. The guy was an internet sensation when he was fighting in Mexico. No one could see the fights. I mean, that in of itself speaks to a certain level of stardom. The type of mainstream reporting on him shows the level of tension on him. Ryan Garcia is obviously burgeoning up to be the next, Mexican-American superstar. I think that's pretty blatantly obvious. Him doing 10 to 15,000 at the Honda Center against what was that? Francesca, right? That's a huge mark. There's guys that are headlining their biggest fight ever, and they don't pull 10 to 15,000 people in the arena. Like, that's a major mark of where you're at. Daniel Dubois is about to be the next reigning heavyweight champion in the next era when this era is over. So, therefore, he's going to be a superstar. So, Daniel Dubois is at number 2. And Teofimo Lopez, like I said, if he beats Lomachenko, and I'm predicting him to beat Lomachenko, he's the next superstar in boxing, has the full weight of ESPN and Top Rank behind him. That is a machine that will push him. Quickly, Big Nick saying Haney is no longer a prospect. Again, that's why I added the next superstar addition to it. So while we don't get hung up on prospect because some of these guys have belts, air quotes, all these guys are in the conversation for the next superstar of boxing because their ceiling has not been met yet. Rob, your top 5 list. 5.
From number 5, Daniel Dubois. Naya Inoue, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Yeah, basically similar things. Like Dubois, I think, is going to be potentially the next guy at heavyweight when it's all said and done. I think, as others' careers come, later in their career, he's the young gun coming through. Still maybe needs to work on a little bit of the whole talking aspect or whatever, but
Like the personality aspect of being a superstar.
I think we're going to see some of that in this Joyce stuff. It might still be a little bit cringe, but I think it's slowly coming out of him. So yeah, we'll see on that. Inoue, yeah, this is maybe a slight, Americans and their smaller weight classes. But I just think he has got that X factor, and I think he could. The announcement of his fight over there in Vegas drew a lot of I think people. I think maybe that was more the hardcore thing, but if with him being with Top Rank and ESPN, it could propel him forward more into a casual market, and I think he's got that X factor.
Quick question. Obviously, you're excluding the fact that he is a superstar in Japan, right? Like, that's not the conversation you're having. You're talking about a U.S. or Western superstar.
Well, just an all-around, but yeah, I guess so. Yeah, more
to the AJ Canelo, where they can kind of go worldwide and draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was a hardcore sort of push-ish behind him. People were a bit pissed at the Zone for not showing his fight at a reasonable hour for Americans. I'm sorry, he's mega famous in his own country. I do apologize, America, but he's going to fight where he's doing really good at the moment. But I think the link up with ESPN and Top Rank could push him forward. But that is maybe a questionable one on my list, just for the fact it's small weight classes. But what did I say? Teofimo Lopez, he's got that X factor. He's got that likability. He's got that trash talking about him, and he's got a major opportunity. Not that it was ever announced before the Corona thing. We never officially got it announced, but whenever that fight does get made with Loma, hopefully that is one of the ones we get soon as things get up and running again. But the dances, the knockouts, I think he's got what it takes to cross over into the more of a casual market. Devin Haney, I think I've got him ahead of Teofimo, even though Teofimo's got the big fight lined up. I just feel he's maybe already a little bit in the casual mindset already, and he has the potential, the skill set, and everything like that. And where would you say he might finish up? He's a big guy, maybe 154, 160, maybe even. He's going to be a few more divisions in him yet, right? So talking of going to 140 next. I think he'll probably be at 147 for a good while, and who knows, coming to the end. And then Ryan Garcia, Mexican market, good looking kid, talks well.
He is turning that corner from a skill set perspective, from a technical perspective.
Yeah, working with Canelo. Only question mark, see, all of these things, barring Inoue because of what he's already done, these might end up on the hype job list.
Oh, they could.
Do you know what I mean?
That is the best part about this conversation in a microcosm, is that 6 months from now, some of these guys could easily switch lists. From some of our hype jobs up to superstars and vice versa. That's absolutely possible.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of these conversations.
One performance from Garcia, because I wasn't on board to start with, but he's shown improvement. He's shown. Yeah. I want to see what's he going to be like when he's properly chin checked by someone. Could he just fall over and we're like, oh damn, he's chinny, So this is the thing. But for me at the moment, with the most potential to be a superstar, it's got to be Ryan Garcia.
He definitely does seem to have all of that push behind him. And then again, you have that Mexican-American market behind you. That's a gigantic market in this sport, in this country.
And he's got, what is it, 5 million now followers already on his IG? That's crazy.
Before we get to Gary's list here, some comments from the live chat concerning Gary's list that I haven't read already. Laura Jacob in the chat, one of the OGs that listens to the show, I'm here for the Tanahara rants. And Dwayne asking, were any Texans be on Gary's list? Well, guys, Gary, your top 5 next prospects not prospects. Sorry, next superstars in boxing.
Okay, so number 5. Let me get my list. Number 5, Keyshawn Davis. Number 4, Shakur Stevenson. Number 3, Daniel Dubois. Number 2, Virgil Ortiz. Number 1, Teofimo Lopez. I don't understand the face. This is like saying in 2003, who will be the next superstar? LeBron James, but he's in high school. Okay. Like, I don't understand how that's like a hot take. Like the kid.
No, Keyshawn.
Well, can I redo my list then? Peter McGrail, the McCormack brothers. I don't know why we're picking amateurs. I didn't know that.
Because it's the next superstar, right? Was De La Hoya a superstar? He was a superstar day one, right?
All right, carry on.
I don't like if I said in 2003, who's the next superstar in the NBA, and then someone said LeBron James, I don't understand why anyone would make a face. That's he's obviously the next superstar, right? Keyshawn Davis, and I'll explain, is the best American amateur in the Olympics since I don't know when. Shakur Stevenson got close, but didn't get a gold medal. The last American gold medal is 16 years ago, Andre Ward. Okay. Keyshawn Davis is a lightweight. So he's going to go straight into the division that's loaded with talent. So he's going to have those fights with those great lightweights that are available now. I guess for the Olympics, he's a light welterweight, they call it, right? But when he goes pro, he'll be a lightweight. There's been no American that's won a gold medal in 16 years. This is the 4th Olympics. Okay. He's going to have to go through, if he wins, this is going to be based on 2 things. One, that the 2020 Olympics come off, that they actually happen. You know, I don't know that that's going to happen, but we're going to assume for this conversation that it does. And that he goes and wins a gold medal. And if he wins a gold medal, he's going to have to go through the unbeatable Cuban Andy Cruz, who's already lost to like 3 times. Now, he lost to him in the Pan American Games. And from my source, Christine Lopez, who covers the U.S. amateur team, he was right there with them. Every time he's lost to him before, he's lost wide. This time, he's lost real close. Like, he's getting better. So, a couple more months, he'll be there. He'll beat the guy that's beaten him 3 times. He'll be the lone American to win a gold medal, the first American to win a gold medal. He'll have huge deals and he'll have stardom waiting for him, just like De La Hoya did on day 1.
I'm not opposed to a Keyshawn Davis mention. But top 5, like there are guys that are closer to that superstar status that have worked in the pros already, and that's a big factor. Let's be honest. Look at Robbie Ramirez. You know, like Devin Haney. How doesn't Devin Haney make that list over Keyshawn Davis? Even though Keyshawn Davis is about to, maybe potentially, you're still hoping here. You're banking on him winning a gold medal that he hasn't won yet to a guy he's lost 3 times. Okay. Why is he ranked above a Devin Haney who actually has a massive following already?
Because I wanted to put Keyshawn Davis on the list because I didn't want to not put him on the list, right? Like, because he's going to be the next superstar. So I want him on my list. So when we come back and look at this in 2 years and Keyshawn Davis is superstar, hey, I got that one right.
He's not going to be there in 2 years, Gary.
I don't think you want it's superstar. De La Hoya was a superstar day 1. Sugar Ray Leonard was a superstar day 1. Day 1, they were superstars.
All right, you've got him down as an all-time great.
Look, you're talking about...
No, it's not all-time great, Rob. It's next superstar.
Stop. You're talking about, you said Sugar Ray Leonard and Oscar De La Hoya, right?
Yeah.
2 guys that came in to the sport when the sport was a mainstream sport. I want to point that out. When boxing in the amateurs in the Olympics was a far bigger deal. Okay. Secondly, we have seen a amateur, let's say, get a silver medal, right? In Shakur Stevenson, not a gold, but silver. Who had a ton of media attention on him. Was he a superstar day 1? No. And
no, because he lost a gold medal match. But his pro debut and his early fights had a lot of hype behind him. People wanted to see him.
Was Andre Ward a superstar day 1 or ever?
Ever? I would say by the end of his career, he was a superstar. But day 1, no, he was fighting on Showbox. I mean, he got a little bit of a bump, but no. But
you've had a bump on your head.
Okay.
Andre Ward's not a superstar. He never was.
He's not. He's a movie star. He's a celebrity. He's not a superstar. All right. I guess we just have
Stop. Being an extra in Creed
An extra, or he played the heavyweight champion of the world in Creed?
I mean, he wasn't the last fight, was he? I don't remember the movie that well.
He was the first fight. He was the heavyweight champion of the world before he fought Drago. Did you see the new Creed?
Yes. No, he wasn't
Yeah.
the first fight in the movie, though. He had several fights before he had the last fight. That's how it works in every...
Right. The first fight in Creed 2, he fights Andre Ward to be the heavyweight champion. So Ward was the heavyweight champ of the world in the movie. So it's not an extra.
I haven't seen Creed 2. No, he's an extra.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
Look, he's an extra. I guarantee you, no one coming out of that movie that just went to go see Michael B. Jordan and a Rocky fan now all of a sudden gives a shit about Andre Ward or Tony Bellew. That's not how those guys got any bump of stardom or any stardom. Antonio Tarver was in a fucking Rocky movie. Was he a superstar afterwards? No, not even close.
Was Tommy Morrison? Yeah.
Tommy Morrison was kind of a pushed already. He was the next Great White Hype. Or am I wrong about that?
I don't remember the timing of it. I really don't remember if he was before or after. But I remember Tommy Morrison was a pretty big star. I mean, he was a knockout artist and he was a big jacked white guy, so there was appeal in him. But he was never. I mean, and Ray Mercer beat him up.
Bringing it back to this point that you made and the topic we're on, that day of being a gold medalist or a medalist period and being a superstar day one is long gone. But he's boxing.
He's ending the drought. It's a 3 Olympics drought. 08, 12, and then 16.
It doesn't. The drought doesn't matter. That matters for you.
Maybe.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter for you or for boxing fans, but to be a superstar day one, Gary, you mentioned Oscar De La Hoya, Mexican American from South Central LA, okay, in the late 80s.
92, yeah.
92, my bad.
Whatever.
Sorry, in the second golden age, the silver age of boxing, right? He comes in as a gold medalist in the Olympics, coming out of LA and as a Mexican American. How is that comparable to 2020 and Keyshawn Davis? It's not. Andre Ward, Deontay Wilder, Shakur Stevenson, all these guys have medaled. Were they a superstar on day one? No, it took them a long time to get.
I wouldn't say.
And even then, not any of them have been superstars yet. Maybe Wilder.
I would say Wilder and Andre Ward are both superstars.
What? Dude, what are you smoking? Andre Ward in his two biggest fights did 150,000 pay-per-view buys. Deontay Wilder off rip on his first pay-per-view did 320. And then the rematch to that did, 800,000, 700,000? Like, come on, man. Like, you're talking about I
guess he wanted to find
a league club team to the fucking Yankee Stadium and Yankee team in terms of stars.
There's the baseball.
There's the baseball. How do you want to define a superstar?
That's the gap.
How do you want to define a superstar, though? Right? Like, I'm saying that him winning a gold medal, should it happen, and I'm predicting that it happens, which is what my pick is predicated around, is him winning a gold medal. That there's going to be a lot more eyes on it than you should expect, because it's been 4 Olympics since the Americans have won a gold medal. That it's going to organically have more views.
I've already said. Shakur got that.
And he lost. Had he won, I think it'd be a slightly different story. Just like AJ lost but got the gold medal.
Because Andre Ward won it. And it wasn't. It wasn't day one superstar.
Andre Ward, yeah, but there was no drought then. There was
Loma
no
won 2.
No, Gary. Exactly.
Wilder won 2. Wilder won 1 bronze medal. He didn't even fight in a gold medal fight.
No,
what
Rob's talking about Olympic medals. Because Rob's talking about Shakur Stevenson, who didn't win a gold medal as well, Gary. Relax.
I said Loma won 2, and he's not is he a superstar now?
He's also not an American. I don't understand how that's relevant. I don't know. Is Lomachenko...
No, stop. That's beside the point. Okay. Gary. Shakur Stevenson, regardless of him losing that gold medal bout, was featured on every single mainstream outlet there was.
Yeah, he was.
Is from the tri-state area. Has Top Rank and ES fucking PN behind him. Has Jay Prince in his corner. Has Andre Ward in his corner. Not a superstar, dude. Like, it's not. Shield has won 2 gold medals, who I think you're grossly disrespectful.
And that's what I was going to go to. Shields
And
is
she's
the
not a
biggest,
superstar.
as compared to in women's boxing. I mean, look, she's not a superstar. Okay, she's the biggest star in women's boxing, and that's where I was going to go next.
Cool, but she's not a superstar. Canelo,
Has there ever been a woman star in boxing, in American boxing, or Layla Ali? So
Layla Ali would be that. She would possibly be that.
that's because her father won a gold medal.
Of course, and her father is her father.
Right.
Regardless,
Two things.
yes.
Is there really not been a superstar in the NBA since 2003?
That was who's the next superstar?
That's
If
not
I would have said in 2003, LeBron James, like that would have been a practical answer. I don't feel that this is
We
different.
got to wait. What? We got to wait. What? 15 years for your pick to come true?
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob, because LeBron James was drafted what, 04 or 03?
03 or 04, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what Gary's talking about is that saying that LeBron James, who was sort of picked as the number one draft that year, was going to be the next superstar isn't great.
When did he become a superstar though?
Like that, like the next
Straight away.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's the NBA, bro. Like you're talking about a mainstream sport. Boxing's not a mainstream sport anymore, Gary. No, I'm not talking to you, Rob.
Not until Keyshawn Davis makes it one.
And my second part to a question is explain your number 4 pick, Gary. Fuck.
Shakur Stevenson?
No, Virgil Ortiz.
That was my number 2 pick. You want to go?
Rob Met instead of number 4.
Oh, okay. So just
right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Who was next on his list? Because Keyshawn was 5, right?
Keyshawn was 5. Shakur was 4. All world talent from the biggest market in the country. He's got the looks. He's got the skills. He will be a superstar. I don't think he'll be a bigger superstar than the top 3, which is why I have him 4, which is Dubois, because he's a heavyweight and he destroys people. That just makes you a star of its own merit. Number 2 is Virgil Ortiz, because he's in the other right weight class. He's a welterweight from Texas, Mexican-American, all-world talent who knocks people out. He'll have all the fights. He'll have fights with Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. He'll have all the right fights to make him a superstar. And then number 1 is Teofimo Lopez, who's just got star, and I've said it's written all over him. He's got the personality. He's got the trash talk. He's got the skills. He's got the dance. There's nothing that about him that's not a star. He's got star-making ability, star-making personality, and he's obviously got star-making skill.
What makes you think that Virgil Ortiz is going to get these fights that you said, Spence and all that?
Okay, well, he's going to, I mean, he's already ranked number 2 by the WBO, so that will come naturally, right? If he wants it. And should he win that fight, a fight with him and Spence in Dallas would be the biggest thing going. That would make, because it'd be too much money not to make it. So those fights will come. He's 21 years old. I think he just turned 22. These fights are going to come. Who's going to get these fights?
True. He might. And just the question about winning them. That's the issue. And I also totally disagree that, Spence and Virgil Ortiz in Dallas is the quote the biggest thing. I mean, Spence Crawford would probably be the biggest thing in the division.
Well, in my world, that Ortiz just beat Crawford to get the WO belt. That was I guess I didn't specify that. That was my world was predicated around that happening first.
You got a lot of maybe, but why not?
I mean, they're all maybes, obviously, Rob. I mean, if you know our list, I mean, you have Nao Inoue. I mean,
who's already a superstar, right? Who already sells out arenas. I mean, my next
country.
Rob is talking about the U.S.
Fine, okay.
Mainstream boxing.
Because Keyshawn Davis is never going to be a superstar in fucking Japan.
Head down straight.
Oh, when Keyshawn Davis makes boxing mainstream, he'll be like Kobe Bryant. He'll be a star everywhere.
You better sign with DAZN. You better sign with DAZN then, Gary, because they're going global, right?
Our cumulative list has a tie at the top. Teofimo Lopez and Daniel Dubois had the same score when we combine our lists. So, guys, who is going to be the next superstar for sure? Is it Lopez or is it Dubois? Because we have to. When I eventually make this video at some point, and I put all.
We're making it.
No, I mean. Like the list video, like the little 5-minute, like here's all the guys with the clips of them training and shit,
Oh, okay.
I do that cumulative list.
Got more first place votes, right? He got 2.
Yes.
I would give the tiebreaker to who got the most first place votes. That's just my vote.
Yeah,
You
but
guys
I had him third. That bumps him. I don't know. It's tricky because I think, potentially Teofimo Lopez is going to lose his next fight. Not that doesn't stop him becoming a superstar, but for me, him winning against Loma was going to be the making of. So it's difficult, right? Because I don't know.
Quickly, actually, I did the math wrong because when I did the math, I had Ortiz at number 1 for Gary, and that's what screwed up all of it. Because
He just presumed.
I did presume. Timo Lopez is actually the winner. He has the most votes, I'm pretty sure. Yes.
There was a hanging chat, and we have new results in. Yeah.
Yes. That's what happened. Plus, Rob, the whole list had to be re-ranked. So, sorry guys, the math had to be worked a couple times here. Thank you, committee, for helping me out there.
I can't believe as a collective we've come to that decision.
What, that Teofimo Lopez is the next superstar?
Yeah.
Why is that so crazy? He has the biggest U.S. sporting network behind him. He has the longest tenured U.S. promoter behind him.
I don't know if he starts coughing.
Promotion behind him. Let me change that then. Longest tenured promotion behind him. And I am thinking he beats Loma. But even if he doesn't beat Loma, he's already in a higher position than other guys that we talk about on that list, so to speak, in terms of getting those fights. Ryan Garcia is a long way from fighting the Lomas of the world. He just is, in my opinion. Devin Haney is more than likely at least a couple of years due to injury and trying to deal with the whole WBC belt situation. At least a couple of years from fighting a Lopez or a Loma. So Lopez just has time on his side when these other guys kind of don't. So even if he loses, he has enough time to bounce back as well. That's why I would sort of put Teofimo Lopez at the top right now. Down Dubois, I mean, he might deserve it, though, because at some point when he does take over the reins of the heavyweight division, post AJ, Wilder, and Fury, he's going to be the next guy. Now, whether or not that's going to be the Larry Holmes to the Ali era, the Klitschko to the Mike Tyson era sort of difference in stardom, I don't know, because I kind of do wonder about that. Whether you're going to see a drop-off in attention to the division because all these sort of personalities and stars in the heavyweight division will be retiring. But regardless, I mean, Darren Dubois will be the king of the heavyweight division, and that in of itself has drawing power. Gary, you want to jump in there, sound like? Before we get to our top hype list.
No, traditionally, right, like, I understand Rob's point, it's a heavyweight. The heavyweight's the star.
You said that. Right?
So I get like that kind of logic, right? Like, he's a heavyweight. So just naturally, he's a superstar because people like heavyweights, especially heavyweights who knock people out.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the argument for Dubois. I'm just saying all the X factors make Teofimo Lopez a superstar, right? Like Sugar Ray Leonard and Larry Holmes both fought at the same time. Sugar Ray Leonard was kind of the biggest star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though Holmes was a heavyweight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we all agree how good Dubois is. I'm just saying there's more star-making qualities.
Teofimo ticks more boxes, like charisma, appeal, all that kind of stuff. So
he has a personality.
Say that at the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all are huge Dubois fans, like me and Gary, but he doesn't have a personality. But like you said, Rob, I think it is starting to come out. He is 22 as well. We're talking about all these young guys.
That is so young for a heavyweight, man.
And he's already advanced so high in terms of skill set and like ranking as well. So he has time. If he wants to slow down and step on, sort of the brake a little bit on his career and fight or stagnation or stagnant opponents, he could do that.
If he goes through Joyce, he's more than likely going to be the WBO mandatory, I think. So
it's crazy. I think it's a little bit too soon because I think he needs more work on his personality, not his skill set. Because if he let's say somehow he beats AJ, he's not ready to hold down Queensberry Promotions like that and change the entire paradigm of UK boxing. But you give him another 2 years to work on his personality, maybe. But digressing, guys, let's get to our biggest hype job boxing list.
This list is more fun.
Oh, really?
Oh my god, I'm concerned.
My Keyshawn Davis is coming up very soon.
When we do it a year from now, Keyshawn Davis.
That's all right. A year from now. Yeah, I'll take that.
Maybe Santiago can check me. Ricardo Williams was 2000 or 2004, but he was supposed to be the next great American. He won a bronze medal, I want to say. He just busted as a pro. He lost like 5 times. And he was one of the great Americans, right? He had a good run and he lost close in the Olympics. I think he won a bronze. And then he went to the pros and it's just like, so this could was like he could be LeBron James. I don't know if Matt will get the reference, or he could be Felipe Lopez. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't really work out. You know? He was okay. He had a career in the NBA. He just,
I think you stepped out when me and Matt mentioned it, but those guys on the superstar list could quite easily jump onto this hype job list, and the hype jobs could leap up into the next star list. It's just
depends who wins what.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Timing is everything in the sport. I'm gonna go through my top 5, then Rob and Gary. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna switch it up. I want Rob to be fucking last. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gary gave his crazy take, and he was last.
Yeah, that's true, right? I feel like
that's right. Straight up, Teofimo potentially has the ability to become the biggest hype job. It's just one. I don't know, it's crazy.
If he gets knocked out in like a round, then that conversation starts. That's for sure. Yeah. But then again, like he knocked out Coleman in like 2 rounds?
Yeah, punch from the gods.
My number 5, Demetrius Andrade. My number 4, F.A. Ajagba. My number 3, Josh Kelly. My number 2, Gervonta Davis. My number 1, Jaime fucking Munguia. Get the fuck out of here, Munguia. Fucking bum.
Is there like hype?
I'm kidding. That's harsh. Dude, people were saying he was the next Chavez Sr., man.
Yeah, but they're crazy people. How many crazies account for actual
hype?
Legitimate hype?
Oh, well,
I want a threshold.
I gave Josh Kelly. I'll some ownership on my own here, right? Like I'll give myself some shots here. I hyped up Josh Kelly a lot. Maybe it was just me, but I did it. Okay. And I was on platforms and put that shit out there. He could lose to David Avanesian. Think about it, that's his big test. Is Ava-fucking-esian.
He's the underdog in that fight. That's
crazy. When he was, I thought, one of the best British amateurs to come out of that Olympics with 2016, right? He was one of the best to come out there in terms of style and technique. And then he just did nothing. Obviously, Demetrius Andrade, everyone knows on this show or that listens to this show for any period of time, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think he is grossly overrated in terms of him being the boogeyman of 160, him being the guy that could beat Canelo, etc. I think that's all just bullshit. I think he has been built up quite well by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom to be the boogeyman now of middleweight post Triple G, because they're sending all these offers and no one's taking them. And that's mainly just because no one cares about watching Andrade fights. Not many people in his own city and state want to come watch Andrade fight. That should tell you something.
That's information given out incorrectly. Kind of like 10,000 at the donut center. What was it called? The Dunkin' Donuts.
Dude, I don't give Jose Ramirez any credit anymore for selling out Fresno when you only sell $100,000 worth of tickets.
All right.
You know, like I understand your point. Don't get me wrong, but there's a line where like it doesn't matter anymore. Crawford and Omaha kind of got to that point too. That's why he started going to New York a lot more because you
didn't rate it.
No, not because I didn't rate it.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, that guy off the radio. Damn.
Yes. No, I think because putting all that production, all the money you're spending on fighters now to put an event like Omaha or Fresno or Providence or whatever, when you're not making your money back, makes no point. You know, that's why you either see casino fights or big city fights. And Javon Davis, I mean, let's be honest, everyone says he was the next Floyd Mayweather. He's clearly not the next Floyd Mayweather. I think he is a decent level draw in terms of what he is in his division, etc. But in terms of hype jobs, in terms of him not meeting the standard of his hype and his push, he meets that criteria. He doesn't meet his own standard of promotion, which is he's the next Floyd. He is not the next Floyd, so he has to enter this list. Same with Munguia and the comparison to Chavez Sr. If there was never those comparisons by his own promoter, he wouldn't end up on this list. But he does now because you compare him to arguably the greatest Mexican boxer of all time, when his best win is still Saddam Ali or Liam Smith. And other than the Saddam Ali fight, all of his wins have been controversial decisions. Sorry, Munguia is ending up on this list at the top too. And that might be just because I have a bias against Golden Boy. Entirely possible. Gary, your top 5 list.
Okay, number 5, F.A. Ajagbe. Number 4, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Number 3, Josh Kelly. Number 2, Jaime Munguia. And number 1, Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer ain't it, guys. He was getting walked backwards by a guy who had 1 knockout in 16 fights. Joey Spencer ain't it. And again, Raymond Guajardo at some point will knock out Joey Spencer. I'll just run through F.A. Look, I don't think F.A. sucks or anything like that. I think he's a decent heavyweight. But after the fight when Harper walked out of the ring and things like that, PBC fanboys were hyping this guy up like he was the next great knockout artist, heavyweight champ of the world. Look, he's robotic. He's not bad. He's just.
I'll say this. F.A. will be a perennial top 20, 25 heavyweight.
He may crack the top 10 someday, but not now.
That's not what the hype was. That's right. Same with like Javon Davis. Javon Davis is obviously a talented champion or was a champion, right? But his hype is that he's the next Floyd. Does he meet that hype? No. That's how you end up on this list.
And I was going to leave Chavez off this list, but I was like, people were expecting Chavez Jr. There was a lot of hype behind him. People thought he was going to be good. He has some decent wins. So kind of like the same reason why Matt put Tank on the list is why I kept Chavez on the list. Like, because he never met those expectations. Not even close, right? It's kind of like Bryce Harper in baseball, right? Like the debate was like 3 years ago, Bryce Harper or Mike Trout, who would you rather have? Yeah, okay, that's a real question, right? Like, for those who don't know, it's Mike Trout, right? Like Bryce Harper hits 240. It's not even close. And it's not Harper's a good player. He's good. It's like, but look what you compared him to. You compared him to the best player in baseball. Who would you rather have? Like, it's a stupid question. Then Josh Kelly for all the reasons Matt not just named. Jaime Munguia for all the reasons Matt just named. And then Joey Spencer, because Joey Spencer ain't it. I wanted to put 6 months ago, I would have had Ryan Garcia, but he's fought himself off the list.
He does. He has. And then he sold himself.
Yeah.
That sounds wrong. He drew himself out the list, so to speak, with that Honda Center fight. I mean, that was just an eye-opening event. Now to Rob's bullshit list.
First of
all of it's bullshit, obviously, because most of it actually we do agree with. But there's 2 people on this list. And it's gonna get me and Gary upset. I know it.
Well, one's Texan, so yeah, it's gonna get him all riled up.
And one's close enough to Texas.
If it's Oklahoma, I'm not gonna get offended. No,
it's not Oklahoma. It's
okay.
Wait, Joey Spencer was your number 1 hype job.
That's a hate pick, and I'm okay with it.
He's the BBC prospect 2 years in a row. He's not good.
Yeah, prospect.
That's right. They have been naming him prospect of the year and shit.
Yeah, but by your own promotional outfit, that doesn't.
But that's the point.
They have Chris Colbert. They have Brandon Figueroa. They have. It's not some small outfit. It's BBC.
Yeah, I know, but no one took it seriously, right? I don't know.
No, true. But like, no one took Oscar De La Hoya seriously when he compared Chavez Sr. to Munguia. But that was the hype. No one took Davis comparisons to Mayweather seriously, but that was the hype, you know?
Yeah, but I just feel that is a much bigger hype job.
No, it 100% is. That's why I said Gary's pick at the number 1 spot is purely a hate pick, but I'm okay with it because let the pain flow.
Okay. Right, you ready, Gary? Number 5, FA Ajagba. I just don't see what a lot of people are seeing. Although saying that, I think people are coming round to maybe our way of thinking. I think being a bit of a tailing off of the FA Ajagba is the next, big thing.
Similar to like Munguia in a way. Like there's been a cooling off of the hype, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, UK, but Josh Kelly.
Get out, Rob. You here.
Hey, look, you've named virtually everyone's American on all your lists, so get out, you two.
Benedict Arnold over here.
I just recently it's just sort of tailed off but a lot of people have grown a little like frustrated with the performances. We get it, you're super skillful, but put it together and
throw punches.
Well, yeah, don't when you're that better than everybody else, don't then stop being that better than everybody else. Keep doing it and win with ease. But never mind. Caleb Plant. Gary, that. Number 2.
Quickly, that was the close enough to Texas. Gary, that's
is that close?
It's not close. It's the South. I mean,
it's the South. That's why everywhere in the South is close enough.
All right, let me find some. No, anyway, Jamal Charlo and Javonta Davis.
Now
you said Jamal with an A, right? Not Jamal.
Yeah.
Now, quickly before we jump into the debates, because I know we have debates ready. There's a tie for the top spot here between Munguia and Davis, and there's a tie for the last spot on this list between Charlo and Ajagba.
Wait, who else said Charlo?
You're the only one that said Charlo, but
you put him at 2.
Yeah, 2, so you give him 4 points.
Okay. See what I did there?
Yeah, so I'll say that.
Okay.
And then obviously to round out the list, we had Plant, Chavez, and Andrade end the list because those were our outlier picks.
What a list!
What a list, man!
Don't put that video
out. But guys, let's debate it then. I mean, obviously,
come at me.
How is Caleb Plant a hype job? Explain this one to me. I think I know your argument, but I want to hear you say it first.
I just don't feel like he's fought anyone. Yeah, he's kind of looked good fighting these people, but he's not. Who's he fought? What's he had a fight with? I just don't see. Until he proves me otherwise, I just think there's a lot of hype with no substance yet. Resume wise, maybe.
So like a win over Foogatti obviously isn't enough to make you think that. I'll put it this way: the way he won against Foogatti was enough to make you believe that he had some of the best boxing skills out there. Not putting him on a pound for pound list because you need wins obviously to be on a pound for pound list.
Yeah, no, just still. And then we got, what was it, Mike Dallas? And then we got, I know
Mike Dallas was Ugas. Ugas beat Mike Dallas.
You're thinking of what's that guy's name?
Vegan Butts. Vegan Boots.
Amando. I kind of forgive Amando.
What's the other guy's name?
It was not Andy Lee. Mike Lee.
Mike Lee.
Yeah, Mike Lee. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Oh, in that case, take him off my. No, I'm checking. Matt, put it back on the normal screen. This is annoying me. Thank you. Yeah.
People might want to see our full list, side by side.
You can put it up again when Gary's talking. No, for me, I don't know. It went from Foogatti, good win, done well, and then it went there, and then people started saying he's like the best super middleweight, and it's like, is he? I don't know. To me, this is like I would expect you guys to maybe look at like, I don't know, the way you're thinking of Billy Joe Saunders in a way. Like,
I almost put Billy Joe on this list, but he has enough wins where it's.
Whereas I don't think Caleb has.
And I think you're honestly right about that to a degree, right? Like if Caleb Plant had an Anthony Durrell on his resume as well, if he had a Porky Medina as well, another sort of C name to put on your resume, if he had, unfortunately, guys that maybe are retired now, like a Groves, like if he had that on his resume, it solidifies a little bit better, right?
Yes. So look, don't get me wrong. If he goes out and the Benavidez fight gets made, and to me, Benavidez could have been on there.
Matt, can I just say Caleb Plant did beat Porky Medina? That was his fight before he fought for a title. He dominated him too.
Thank you. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. But that doesn't stop it. I don't know. If he does say get Benavidez, and he super impressively outboxes him, maybe like goddamn, like gets a finish, then I've got to seriously go. Okay, then maybe the hype is real. But for me at the moment, I think there's a lot of hype, and despite seeing some skills, I've seen it against, in my opinion, sort of C-class sort of opposition, predominantly. Foogatti was a step up, but then it went back down again so.
Of course. And somebody bring up that obviously Foogatti had the long layoff and lost to Lionel Thompson, I think in his last fight. That's true, but in the moment of when he beat Foogatti was coming off those back-to-back fights with Andre Durrell, where he bullied Andre Durrell. And Andre Durrell is a perennial top 5, top 10 fighter in that division. So you can't retroactively now say that Foogatti was trash. But at the time, he was not trash.
No. I said like he's.
No, not you in the chat. Somebody in the chat said that. I just wanted to mention that. I feel like that's important to mention. But I think Rob's points are somewhat valid. I wouldn't put him on this list still, but I see the argument. Gary, I know you're a Caleb Plant fan, as am I. Any rebuttal?
I'm a big fan of his skills. He was I met him twice now. Once years ago in Houston when he fought on a Jamel Charlo card on Halloween. I want to say it was like 2014 or 2015, real early in his career. And he was not friendly. But then I met him again at the weigh-in at the Figueroa fight. He was just there with Jordan, and I got to talk to him, and he seemed pretty chatty. He was a nice guy. But I think his skills are, world class, second to none in that weight class. I get what Rob's point. Like if you're like me saying, who could beat Canelo? Caleb Plant? You would look at me like, why? Based on what? Based on beating Foogatti? That's it. I get what Rob's saying, but yeah. I don't see like hype guys have to be exposed at some point. Now he hasn't beaten anybody other than Foogatti and Porky Medina, which doesn't do anything for Rob. That tells me that this guy is all world. His 2 defenses have been title defense have been nothing. So I get what Rob's saying. Mm-hmm. I just think he's going to live up to all expectations.
And Vegan Butts put hands on Plant like Witherspoon put them on.
I will say this though. I think Caleb Plant, like if we do like a conversation about like guys who are overrated right now, Caleb Plant's probably on that discussion because he doesn't have the wins yet. Hype job is like a harsher term, so that's why I probably would.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
No, I think your argument's fine here, Rob. Stay by it because I like.
I do, but maybe you're right. Like, as in, maybe it's more of an overrated list than a hype job. Hype jobs, like there was kind of push behind them and blah blah blah, and they just never turned out. I guess maybe.
And I would say
an overrated list.
I would say Caleb Plant. It's an argument that would be worked against my pick of Andrade, but I would say it anyways to be a devil's advocate. Caleb Plant's push is purely from hardcore fans. You know what I mean? And that's where it's a little bit different as well. But then again, I picked Andrade on my list as well. And his hype is purely from hardcore fans that are watching a ton of random YouTube videos about him. Like that's it. And Caleb Plant sort of has that same vibe to a degree. But next on your list, at number 2, that I know
Jamal
Gary is upset about is Jamal Charlo.
Thank you very much for being a Dusser. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being a Dusser. Thank you.
Rob, present your argument because I want this debate because this is one that I think maybe there is an argument for it, but I don't. It may be like the Caleb Plant case where I don't really back you, but I understand the argument.
It's kind of the same argument in a way to me. It's just not being that big name. I don't think he needs a bigger name. We can't just keep getting what we're getting.
So Trout, Williams isn't enough. Like those guys.
Yeah, but that was how long ago was that? Do you know what I mean? Since then, the hype for me is like gone. To me, I'm just expecting the next mediocre opponent to be named, and like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, all this can change in a fight. You know, make a fight with a big name, win it, dominate it, whatever, knock the guy out, and the hype is kind of almost fulfilled again. You know, then it changes. But at the moment, for me, the hype behind Jamal Charlo just doesn't warrant what the hype is at the moment. Just
What
purely
he has done recently does not warrant the hype that he has right now.
yeah, that's my argument. There's no hate attached. It's not a PBC thing or anything like that. It's just for me. I want to see him get a big fight. I want these guys to get their big fights. But until then, and we keep getting B plus C class sort of opponents, then it's just not doing anything for me. It's like possibly wasted talent. Therefore, the hype goes.
Why did you put Billy Joe on yours? Because look who Billy Joe's been fighting.
Look, I already did one break, Gary. I'm not doing two. All right.
All right, fair enough.
He's got Canelo next, right? So we'll
see.
Oh, maybe.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see, yeah.
Okay, so I kind of get what you're saying. Right? Since those names, you can say that he's been hyped. Like if you said like me, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have picked Charlo to beat Canelo. Canelo ended up being better than I thought, and Charlo has taken a couple of steps back, although he looked really good in his last fight. If you would have went, how long ago was the Bundridge fight and the trial fight? It was probably 4 or 5 years ago by now, right?
Yeah.
If you would have asked me who my favorite fighter in the world was, I would have said Jamal Charlo. Like he's that good. Like he's gonna unify these belts, and he's gonna be a force at middleweight. Like he's gonna make and he hasn't. So in that sense, I guess
he did half of that. Right,
yeah.
Half of that. He didn't then go on to be a force at middleweight yet. That
hasn't happened at all.
That second half of his career, which every great fighter needs, is a second half of your career, right? Hasn't really happened yet.
But to me, he's got enough wins just at 154 that you can't consider him a hype job because he did it at 154. He beat Bundridge, he beat Trout, he beat J-Rock. He's got plenty of good wins at 54. So just based on that, he's not a hype job. He did what he was supposed to do. Now, I guess like you built him up to be a lot more than just a 154-pound champ. You built him up to be a great fighter. And I guess right now he's just been a good junior middleweight who hasn't really done anything at middleweight. So I understand Rob's argument. I just think it's a little harsh.
Yes, I would put like Jamal Charlo on like biggest disappointment list more so than biggest hype job because
that's worse.
Is it? Because hype job,
your parents said you're a disappointment. That's like
hype job implies an element of like fraud, like it's a lie, in my opinion. Maybe that's a semantic argument because we all may have different opinions about the definition of hype job. That's completely fine. Just purely talking about me now. I view hype job like it was fake, so to speak, right? Like the promotion, the hype, the buildup around you, the pushback from fans or whoever, it is fake. It is a lie. With Jamal, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's been a letdown because he hasn't had the big fights at 160. And he's been fighting, no names on Showtime, been doing mediocre numbers, mediocre attendance figures, and been kind of fighting him in a mediocre style as well, sort of matching his opposition.
Coach Midi in the chats, like he says, and it's also the fact that Jamal has had over 30 fights now.
Yeah, he has over 30 fights, but he also has, like Gary said, great wins at 154. He does. Like his 154 resume is impeccable. I mean, if he dropped back down to 154 right now, he's instantly the best junior middleweight.
He's also the friggin' biggest. He was the biggest when he was there. Yeah.
But therefore, therefore for me, the hype is over. That kind of just because X amount of years ago and that you'd done this thing, the hype was oh God, he's coming into 160 as well.
What if he beats Andrade?
No. Again, we're probably getting a little bit of a semantic argument here. I agree with you on that. The hype is over. That's a letdown. That's a disappointment because you had hype. Hype job, like I said, it implies an element of fraud. You were never that to begin with. You were never the next Chavez Senior, Munguia. You were never Floyd. You were never the next Mayweather, Gervonta Davis. That was never a thing. Jamal Charlo was the best junior middleweight, and he could have been the guy to come into middleweight and storm through the division, and he just hasn't and didn't. And that there's just a difference to that. Again, semantics here. That's purely semantics, and I'm totally admitting that. But that's how I view it. And again, I think that the case for Jamal Charlo to be on this list is fine. You presented a case. I think it's one that I kind of knew you were going to bring up because it's kind of obvious for reasons we've all stated. Same with Caleb Plant. There's certain guys where I think we kind of recognize the skill, but they just still haven't fought enough names consistently for us to rate them overall, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So look, again, I guess it's over it, but say our number one star, Teofimo Lopez, beats Loma, becomes the unified,
undisputed.
Well, he'll be unified. The WBC is still out there, right?
He has the franchise belt. In my mind.
You can't win the franchise belt, but unless you can, then you can.
No,
I don't know.
You can't.
Doesn't the winner get like a diamond belt though?
I guess
Well, that's not the full set, right?
Hey man, I don't know.
No, it's not. But anyway, say he does that, and even then becomes undisputed with Luke Campbell. What? But then moves up to 140, goes through the 147, but no more world titles. No, nothing comes from it. Takes X amount of warm-up fights to ease into a division. The hype then goes, right?
I found out the word. He is then a bust. He's not a hype job. He's clearly then a bust. Like a Leon Spinks, so to speak. He beat who did he beat? It was Ali, right? And then he lost like the next
he lost to a guy 2-30. I mean, he's got so many losses. He lost to a guy that was 2-34, right?
I mean, if that were to happen, you become a bust more than a hype job. I don't. Again, maybe it's semantics. I'm totally admitting that. But digressing.
Coach Mitty, semantics, Matt. The Lions only is fake. It is a lie. He ain't no killer. He's just a shook one.
I don't know. The whole Andrade Charlo situation, I get that Charlo's fucked up this entirely.
Yeah.
But that doesn't automatically make Andrade better than him. or make the fact that Andrade is being pushed in a way that just is not true. His best win at 154 was Vans Martirosyan. Let's be real fucking honest about that.
In a fight that he gave away so many rounds, he may have not won enough rounds because he gave away the last 5.
It was not as well.
I just looked it up. The Bundridge fight with Jamal, that was 5 years ago.
Oh man, because it was before the Golden Boy PBC split. It was before that.
Yeah.
Quickly though, we need to pick the tiebreakers. Munguia and Davis are tied for number 1 on our cumulative list.
Tank.
I'm picking Munguia. Because I picked Munguia as number 1. I have to be consistent. You picked Tank. You have to be consistent. Gary
picked fucking Joey Spencer.
And didn't put.
You get the casting vote. Put your little anti-Spencer thing in the back.
Well, I had Munguia 2 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go Munguia.
Okay, so Munguia is number 1. Last spot, Charlo and Ajagba.
You know how I'm voting.
I'm picking Ajagba.
Ajagba's going to Hollywood.
Sorry, bro.
I had a Jaguar last, right? Didn't I?
Yes, you did. You did.
Yeah.
So we all had a Ajagba on our list. That's one of the few guys. I think there's 3 people we all had on our list. Ajagba, Kelly. That actually might be it.
Guys didn't put Chavez Jr. on your list?
Well, if we were talking 3 years ago, yes.
That doesn't count.
Oh, Josh Kelly was all on our list, right? Oh, it was Kelly and
Yeah, Kelly and Ajagba. Those are the 2 guys on our list, and they are ending up on our cumulative list as well.
Didn't even have to chop it up about Tank. I love it.
Kelly's number 3 after Davis and Munguia, or Munguia and Davis.
So it's Munguia, Davis, Kelly, Spencer, Ajagba?
Yes, because he put Spencer at number 1.
Wait, Plant I had as number 3. Oh, what? Gary?
I had him at number 1, so he's got 5 points.
That's how it works, man. That's how it works, guys.
All right, you
I
make the
thought Matt would
video.
have him on his list somewhere. I didn't think Matt would have him number one, but I thought he'd have him somewhere.
He was on my list.
Okay.
And then I saw Rob's list. And I was like, this isn't. It's not hot enough.
Isn't controversial enough.
Yeah, so I put Munguia on my list, and then I put Andrade on my list, and I put Davis on the list. So like that.
So I'll be honest.
More spice.
I forgot about Munguia. He probably would have been on mine. To be fair,
I mean, I'll be honest. The top or the next superstar list was super easy for me to make. That was like instantaneous. That I made that one. The hype job.
yeah, there was a couple that you thought, oh, what about this guy? Who's slightly gonna make 5 over that guy or whatever, or your order maybe slightly.
The 5 came to me, and I really wanted to put Haney on it, but someone had to get left off because I wanted to put my hot take of Keyshawn Davis on it. So Haney got left off. Like I mean,
Yeah, imagine. Fucking hell.
You could put Haney on the hype job list to be extra hot.
I think he's good though. I mean, I don't think he's good as Tiafimo, but I think Haney's good.
Let's be honest. Alejandro Santiago, whatever his name was, gave him some work. He touched him up, as they would say. They mean
He done his shoulder, man. Come on, his shoulder gone.
shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even have to talk about Tank not making.
Were you surprised that Tanahara, Brandon Figueroa, and Omar Juarez wasn't on my list?
I thought there would be more. I expected Tanahara.
I 100%.
Which shows really your hype has been a lie.
Well, it's superstar, right? Figueroa is going to have a tough time being a superstar because he's a 122 pounder. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, and he's Noah Nue. Let's be honest.
That fight should happen. Do you think he can go to 122? Because that'd be a big guy for a Nue to fight. That'd be a real big dude. I'm for that fight. Yeah. I think it'd be a great fight.
You guys want to talk about some boxing news out there?
He won't want it once he's Inue's taken out Navarrete.
I don't know, man. I think Inoue should stay put up 118. If not, drop back down to 115.
That's what I was thinking more going down than going up another weight class. Fighting the biggest guy at 122.
That's a big great monster. Don't listen to these pair.
He's already this is 4th division.
And he skipped one. Yeah.
It's his 5th total division.
So cool.
There's weight classes for he's not big.
And hold on, let me say this: 115 stacked with talent and star.
Yeah, there's big fights there. There's big fights.
122. I mean, there's no one there anymore. The guy you would have gone up there for was Rigo, but Rigo's now at 118.
Which make that fight? Give me that fight.
Wait. 122. That's like Estrada, right? And
no. That's Daniel Roman, Akhmadiliev. That's that division. Navarrete,
yeah.
Vargas, Brandon Figueroa. Obviously mentioned Gary.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Estrada's 115. So he'd be dropping back down on that.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, that division. That's stacked ready for the monster.
That's Rungs VI still there. I mean, you have a ton of names there. Charlie Edwards isn't now there. Rob, I would love to see a new A.
Oh, we should have put Charlie Edwards on our hype job list.
Get out, Gary.
No, he beat Christopher Rosales, and I think Christopher Rosales is really good. So
he didn't get a chance to be on our hype job. We're not talking about people that have come and gone and the hype's been proven. We're our current hype jobs. He's not a current hype job. Maybe Martinez could be that list, right?
Martinez could actually be on that list. I was thinking, look, I'm a fanboy, but I was even thinking about putting him in there for the hot take. When I was trying to redo my list to be extra spicy, I almost put Martinez. But I'm like, no, man, the hype's real.
We're going to do this next year. In COVID 20.
Let's get to some boxing news, guys, because we do have some news to get to actually in the boxing one. Plus, I want to circle back to a topic we brushed by yesterday that has now become more of a talking point in the boxing world, and that is the issue of PD regulation not being really implemented anymore in the sport, as the WBC have now admitted they're not going to be testing anymore. UCAS said they're going to be dropping down or shrinking their program, so to speak. I want to argue or debate, not argue. I want to debate because maybe we have different points here. And I actually don't know where I fall in yet. So I feel I need a debate here with you guys in order to make an opinion. Was it the right choice to announce this, have the transparency of saying, hey, we're not testing right now due to a worldwide pandemic, and we just don't have the resources to deal with that.
Do that again. Gary's gone. See if you can make him come back. No, that's all right. I don't think it's a good idea to announce it. I understand why they can't go around test it. Gyms are closing. Social distancing. How do you test someone if you're not supposed to go near them? Why announce it? I think seeing some examples of this of like the police, like, oh, sorry, due to the coronavirus, none of us are working right now. It's open season. Potentially for criminals and also obviously PED users. I just don't think it was. This didn't need to be said. I don't think.
Before Gary jumps in, because Gary, I brought this up on yesterday's show, or not yesterday, Friday's show, but we brushed by it, and it's now become more of a talking point. It's the whole lack of PED regulation now, as UCAD and the clean boxing program for the WBC are now not operating, so to speak. I'm going to give my counterpoint to Rob's point about this being a bad thing that they did. I think them suspending testing and not being transparent about it is far more nefarious and far more of an issue. If UCAD just stopped testing boxers and fighters and said, or didn't say anything, didn't announce it at all to the public, because the fighters are going to find out. They have, privileged information. They're allowed that more than the public. They would know. There would be an issue there, I would think. I understand that it's a no-win situation, so to speak, because no matter what, these drug agencies are just going to be shutting down operations right now for drug testing athletes, for honestly stuff that really doesn't matter when it comes to a worldwide pandemic. Let's just be honest. But I think in that no-win scenario, the best thing to do was to be completely transparent about what you are doing. We may not like that they're not testing any fighters, but that's not what I think the argument is or should be. I think if you are upset that testing for boxers isn't really happening right now, that's fine to be upset about that. Should we be upset they were transparent about it? I don't think that should be a reason to be upset. That should be a reason to applaud, because we want these drug collection agencies to be more transparent, especially UCAD. So I think there's a silver lining to this in the conversation. But Gary, your thoughts on UCAD, the clean boxing program, suspending their programs in this pandemic, and whether or not they should have announced it to the public?
I mean, it only makes sense that they cancel. People aren't going to be at gyms. You don't want them going around testing. I mean, look, canceling it makes sense. And then I'm kind of, it's a no-win situation, like Matt said. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If you tell everyone you cancel it, free reign, right? If you don't, I mean, now you're dishonest and you're lying and you lose all credibility and trust because you weren't upfront about it. So it's really, it's a no-win situation. I don't have a problem with them doing it. I guess it's the right thing to do. But then Rob's right. You give them free reign to go. But they would have found out anyway that they weren't tested. That they weren't being tested, right? I mean, that would have taken like 2 days to get out, and then every gym would have known about it. So I don't have a problem, but it does open you up to the obvious problem of, well, I'm not being tested now. But like Rob said, I don't know what they've implemented here, but you guys, where I live, like they stopped arresting people for victimless crimes, and maybe we should consider, like, if there's no victim, we shouldn't be putting people in cages for it at all. But
I mean, look, here gyms have closed. I think that, and here that you have to fill out the whereabouts form. I don't necessarily think this would be found out as quick as you think.
Same with the CBP.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think the fighters would find out as quick as you think, but maybe they would. But if you're a fighter, you're at home, and you're wondering, it's been tested, wonder if the guy up the road is being tested, or I don't know. I just don't think it would be as common knowledge as maybe you feel. I don't know.
I mean, if you are subject to a contract to be tested and that contract is then terminated or suspended, you are then notified. Like that's just like, you know what I mean? Like if let's say you're a WBC fighter for this instance, right? I don't know about the UCAD, so I'm not going to speak of that. But if you're a WBC fighter, you're signing contracts with the WBC to be tested under their program, and if they are suspending that program, you have a legal right to know about that contract being suspended. But to totally separate topic.
So for you, they need to then inform everybody that we are starting the program again.
Oh,
it comes around.
Absolutely, of course. I want total transparency from my PD regulation companies. Total.
Yeah.
Because when we don't, that's when we get situations like Dylan White's case where it becomes such a muddled mess and it's very hard to find the truth from the non-truth. But also, let's be honest, with the clean boxing program, it was $40 a month per fighter that they were spending on testing. These guys weren't getting tested anyways. Doesn't really matter. UCAD, I mean, they spend a lot of money there, but they've also been hurting for some cash for some while. So I don't know, how much they test as well. Because there also was some stories post the Dylan White case about UK fighters coming out and saying that they haven't been tested as much as they thought they would, or et cetera. So I think PD regulation as a whole, I think, is a little bit of a smokescreen. But digressing from that point, but still on UCAD a little bit, Tyson Fury. The whole farmer boar meat taking steroid shit, it might lead to an actual UCAD investigation. I know that we don't have this in terms of digital, but Rob's paper, Rob, I don't know if you want to bring that up, but I know that happened today, right? I'm assuming you got that paper. Rob, you muted. There you go. You mute. Oh, yeah.
I saw a tweet with the photographs of the paper. It's the Sunday Times, but it's behind a paywall.
And I mean, it seems like UCAD is starting up another investigation into this PD usage from 2015. I want to say, guys, are we thinking this is going to go anywhere? Because if they do find out that he tampered with a witness, so to speak, he is facing an 8-year ban, and that's a career-ending ban. Let's be quite honest about that. And for Fury's case, I mean, I'm honestly worried about his health and mental health post that, if that were to happen. Do we think that actually, like, there's a lot of smoke to that fire? Do we see that it happened that way? Do we see this investigation going forward? Because obviously, remembering back to the first investigation, UCAD threw in the white towel because they were going out basically of business, so to speak, and they were going to look for the government for a bailout because of that case. And again, this BBC article that I just showed, you can find it there, where Dan Rohn talks about it. But is UCAD even able to really investigate this case like they can?
Well, from the Sunday Times, this is from David Walsh. Now, people might know him. He went after Lance Armstrong real heavy at the time. And he seems to have a sort of an interest, kind of like Hauser. He's sort of been quite into the sort of doping side of things, right? So, but while she wrote, one thing for certain is UCAD is determined to pursue the case again. Its challenge will be to prove that Fury knew what was happening. Kerfoot has told UCAD that he will cooperate fully with the renewed investigation. So it really does appear like there is going to be an investigation, or there is one starting up. Now, I think Kerfoot said it was a member of Fury's team, didn't ever meet with Fury. So I feel like whatever this turns out to be, I don't know how they can prove that Fury knew about it. There's no money changed hands because the guy's claiming that he never got the money that he was promised for lying in the first place. So there's no like changing of money, like a paper trail or anything like that. So I don't know how they're going to say or prove that Tyson Fury knew about this. His word against the other guys, right? So, and look, Mauricio is fully behind Tyson Fury on this. He says it's a load of nonsense. Which, if it's Frank Warren or someone like that, you understand he's behind his guy, he's backing his guy, but Mauricio's, Fury's his champion as such, but as a governing body, you don't need to be making a stance in defense of someone who's potentially facing an investigation. He didn't look happy on the night when Wilder lost the bout. Now he's suddenly really behind Tyson Fury going forward if this goes to some kind of case. So I'm not sure why Mauricio's hard stance on it is that this is a load of nonsense. But yeah, I guess it's down to the UCAD proving that Tyson Fury knew about this guy lying on his behalf or whatever. So I don't know where this will go. I can't see anything changing. I don't see an 8-year ban. I don't see Fury in trouble with this. Personally, that's mine.
And you see that due to like there nothing being here, or more due to the institution involved in this case, UCAD, is just not equipped to actually deal with this case.
I just don't see if you're. I knew nothing about that. I don't know what this. I don't absolutely nothing about this. And the guy's saying,
well, I mean, there could absolutely be a paper trail. I mean, emails, text messages, phone calls. I mean, there could absolutely be. I mean, you're scoffing, but that's how it works.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if that works like that in the traveler community or anything like that.
This is no longer in the traveler community. This is now in potentially UK court, right? Or in UCAD.
No, I mean, a paper trail as in this alleged meeting with one of Fury's team.
Travelers have phones too.
I wanted to get in on that, and I don't know, and I don't know how this system works. You know, if it was in America, I'd be a little bit more familiar with it, but I don't think they'd go back after it if all they had was he said, she said. Like, I think they got to have something, you know, a recording, witnesses, something, you know, emails, recorded conversations, something that makes this real. Whether or not they have enough evidence to prove his guilt, I don't know. But I think there's going to be something there. I think there's a smoking gun. They have something that they're looking into. They're not just saying, throwing spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks, right? Like, I think they got some, and we'll see. Like, it'll all come out. We'll see what they have. But I don't think they're jumping back into this out of boredom. I think they probably have something.
I think nothing's really going to happen. Not because nothing's here, because I don't know if anything is here. That doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I think more so it's an issue of UCAD funding. I think they just suspended all drug testing. They've been looking for government bailout for a while now in the UK. I don't expect them to want to go back into a litigation with Tyson Fury's camp when he bankrupted them. Like, that just... It didn't seem feasible.
600 grand in the hole last time, right? Or something like that.
It's insane. Like, I just do not see that being the avenue for UCAD. I just see them looking at what they went through in the first case, how much it sort of tarnished them, unfortunately, to a degree. But that's what happens, and it is what it is. So I think that's more than likely going to hold up anything from actually happening. Not so lack of evidence or evidence being there, it just doesn't matter. I think regardless, UCAD is not going to be in a position to really go after this case like they want to potentially.
If there is witness tampering, courts and legal systems, they don't like that. That's making a mockery of the system. Like, they'll go after you for that, because now you're making a joke of the process when you start paying off, you know, witnesses and things like that.
Pettiness always rules in society.
But it's, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
No, Leonard in the chat. Morgan Sports Law. Fury lawyer was in contact with the farmer, asked for proof for a boar, and the farmer could not provide a picture.
The boar from 5 years ago that he killed?
I don't know if this dates back to then. I don't know. I need
maybe not the contact now between the lawyer and the farmer. I'm just talking about 5 years ago. I mean, if they try to contact now and said, "Hey, we need a picture of that boar you killed," like, I don't have a picture of you, but I have this email that you sent asking for giving me 20 grand. That's absolutely possible. Or I have Johnny that was with me when Peter Fury rolled up and said, "Hey, here's 20 grand if you say, hey, you gave my son some meat." Pause.
People who shoot boar have photographs of that boar. They definitely.
You're talking to someone that shoots boar. I don't take a picture of every one. And I especially don't keep it. Like, that's not, like, unfortunately, in today's age, like, if I change out phones, I most likely lose a lot of pictures.
Did you sell it to a boxer?
Maybe one from Mexico. Beautiful.
Burgers.
Digressing though, I really don't care to hear from any party's lawyers here. I want to hear from UCAD. I want to see some evidence if there is any, but there's not going to be any evidence because they don't have the money for it. Let's be honest. And speaking of not having money though, Artur Beterbiev is in the hole, $50,000 for his training camp for Fan Long Meng. The fight may go on in the U.S. in a studio, but with Mark Ramsey, right? What's the trainer's name? Right, Mark Ramsey. Here's one that's talking to Sean Nam over at Boxing Junkie of USA Today. And I mean, he basically stated that it's probably not going to happen. Beterbiev doesn't want to get stuck in the U.S. And Oscar Rivas, who would be on the undercard, he has a special visa to work in Canada because he's from Colombia. And if he's in the U.S. and gets stuck, he gets shipped back to Colombia, not Canada. So I highly doubt in this time we get this fight going off in the way that people are expecting. So unfortunately, Beterbiev is losing a lot of money here, and that's just how it is. And I think a lot of fighters have lost a lot of money in the last month or two, and it's sad. Any guys, any thoughts?
It's not just hitting, mid-level fighters, mid-card guys, club guys. It's hitting world champions, pound for pound guys. It's taking its effect for sure.
Yeah, like you say, this is a unified champion of the world, right? We're not talking about the guys. There's talk like guys are going to be fucking homeless potentially, and like,
yeah. Do you see that? Was it Michael Collin interview?
Yeah. It's a shame. Look. I know. In this time, people are worried about their jobs. I know over here we've had measures brought in from the government. At the moment, self-employed guys are kind of copping it, not getting the benefits of the other measures that were laid out. But I think that will be addressed. And in the long term of things, the worldwide safety and humanity is bigger than sport. But when we're all sort of talking about everyone's jobs, these fighters, their job is fighting, and they get paid when they fight. And some of them, even when they get paid, they hand out a bit to the manager, a bit to the promoter, and then there's not a lot left. And it's shit times really for a lot of these guys. And we just need to get through it. But yeah, was it like 50? Did you say it's 50,000?
I think it was $35,000 to $50,000 US money, which was 50,000 to 70,000 Canadian dollars.
I mean, that's a chunk of change, right? So I know Beterbiev probably all right. He's had a fight on DAZN. He's had a couple on ESPN. I'm sure that hasn't stung too much, but I don't know. You don't want to lose that out. You don't want to keep losing that kind of money. And look, this is for his mandatory fight. It's Fan Long Meng, and it's like, fuck. I've lost all this on that. I don't need to train for this guy as long as I make weight.
Did he make 7 figures against Vajdic? Did they make 7 figures each?
I would think so, but I don't have any sources on that.
I would guess so.
I hope so. Because he's one of those, like, he might not get paid that much comparative to his talent level. Just saying. But digressing, stitching it back to Fury Wilder, that trilogy fight, not happening in July, guys. Sorry to report. It's going to be a lot of that for the next coming weeks, it seems like. Frank Warren talking to, I think it was Daily Mail, and saying that the fight would be pushed back. He had some harsh comments about the U.S. medical system. Most of them are probably true, so I'm not going to read them because they make me just angry. But guys, thoughts on Fury Wilder being pushed back?
I think that was going to happen anyway. Personally, it was going to be a quick turnaround, and I think we might have got some injury rumor.
Oh, you mean like if there's no worldwide pandemic, this fight's not happening in July, it's happening in September or something like that. That's what.
Yeah. Take Corona out of this. I think we were going to see this get pushed back magically anyway. But yeah, I think a lot of fights, we don't know where it all stands at the moment. Even the secondary date has been put for Joshua Pulev late in July. So moving from June 20th. So we just honestly we just do not know at the moment. I personally think we're going to see some fights behind closed doors before we see it fully back into operation, and maybe outdoor ones, because I don't know, following the science, apparently outdoor fights are less dangerous than indoor fights, but I think we'll see some as soon as things get a little bit easier and things are lifted slowly. I think we'll see cards behind closed doors before we see it all fully and back in swing. And the cards are going to be crazy. There's fighters going to be looking for fights left, right, and center. If you're not planning even now, not knowing where we stand, if you're not planning your schedule with your network, you're going to be back of the queue, because dates are going to be named left, right, and center. I think Eddie Hearns even mentioned they might do like almost like Monday night, a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, like just get some content and some boxers getting their fights and getting fighters paid. But we'll see. But yeah, Josh, Wilder Fury 3, not surprising. It's such a big event. You can't just rush it straight back as soon as the bans have been lifted or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Gary, any thoughts on Fury Wilder 3 being pushed back?
I think we're going to get it as soon as boxing resumes, within a few months of boxing resuming, whenever that is. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I think it's for the best, because Wilder's got a lot of work to do. I mean, he's got to come up with a game plan. And I think Rob, I wasn't thinking it was going to get postponed, but I think Rob, now that Rob said it, I can see him. I don't want to say faking an injury, but maybe overstating an injury. You go through a camp, you might get some aches and pains, bumps and bruises. You say this needs to heal while you work on things. I could see that.
Look, he went. What was it? When was Ortiz 2?
November?
Yeah.
November, February, July.
It's 7 months, 8 months, whatever that is, 3 times. I mean, they don't do that anymore.
No.
It's 3 and no bums, no tune-up fights. Those are 3 real fights. Those are 3 big fights.
So
Yep. Let's move on to another fight that got pushed back. Serkat Rungsviai's big comeback fight since the Estrada rematch. It's been pushed back. His fight against Amnat, not going to try to pronounce that last name, from Thailand. That fight has been pushed back indefinitely. I mean, they said May too, but I mean, that's not happening as well. Like, fights in May are being pushed back. So you're pushing a fight back to May makes no sense, in my opinion. But yeah, in my mind, it's indefinitely.
that was going to be in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
The thing I heard, I don't know. I heard that the pandemic in Southeast Asia is not nearly as bad as it is in China or in Italy or even in the U.S. That it's kind of under control there, and they're trying to figure out how they've controlled it so well to try to replicate that.
The element of under testing too, like that, especially.
It could be under testing. That could be it, but yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Japan has been criticized heavily because they've been sort of reporting that they're handling quite well, but their level of testing is very, very low relative to other countries that are not near that epicenter, that don't have the elderly population that Japan has. So I do question, some of the reporting that's been going out there. Same with like the US and UK. I mean, that took forever for them to actually start reporting numbers, and then all of a sudden, when they did, spiked up, because that's what happens. But anyways, Rob, any thoughts about Serkat Rungsviai?
No, I was going to say, I believe there was a report today that there was a kickboxing event in Thailand, and there's been now a spike in numbers of confirmed cases from the back of a kickboxing event in Thailand or something. But yeah, no, this is all the bleak stuff. Everything's pushed back, everything's on hold. Yeah, so we just don't know at the moment.
Speaking of not knowing at the moment, Delta Airlines had no idea if Josh Taylor or Ben Davison had COVID-19, because Billy Joe Saunders decided to call the airline company and said that they had coronavirus. I should be laughing because like Billy Joe's come out and say like I wasn't joking. Like I thought they were sick and like one of my family members is sick. But then again, I think maybe Billy Joe's joking then again as well. Regardless, though, I actually think this is kind of funny. I know people are saying like this is serious, don't joke about this, but this is something that I would probably do, to be quite honest. Yeah, of all the Billy Joe pranks out there, this is probably the harmless one. Now, is he abusing some drug addict on the street? No, he's not doing that. He's just fucking with his friends and making them not catch a flight. And all his friends are, let's be honest, probably close to millionaires, if not millionaires, so they can fucking deal with it.
I think he thought it was funny, and then when it kind of fell flat, what most people like, oh no, they really were sick. I think it was a joke. He did it to mess with them, and then people got upset about it, so he tried to like, no, I really, you know.
Great joke.
Yeah,
it is so good.
Someone quote tweeted the story, said Billy Joe Saunders has just out Billy Joe Saunders Billy Joe Saunders. This is a whole new level. He just left his trainer and his training buddy stranded in another country while he's on the flight. I've seen guys that like a group go for like a stag do. They're going on a holiday, you know, but the guy's getting married.
Oh, like a bachelor party or something like that?
Yeah, we call it a stag do, but like they all pitch up to the airport, they all hand their tickets, and the groom, his tickets for the day, but later. So they all get on the plane, and he has to wait at the airport for like a night until he catches the flight in the morning.
I would be mad about that.
Yeah. So they've got a night's drinking ahead of everybody because they got there first and got the room all sorted. But yeah, look, I'm sorry. If you're gonna hang with Billy Joe Saunders, you're gonna have to watch your back. You're gonna have to fucking have eyes everywhere because he can't help himself. He just cannot help himself. He's a kid. He's gonna prank you up somewhat chronic, and when you know, at a certain level of wealth, as he obviously is, and you know, he can put that power behind his pranks, and yeah, he's just pranked the hell out of. I mean, we might be looking for a new trainer for Billy Joe Saunders. I don't know.
Have you? I don't know if Rob's seen this. I'm assuming Gary has seen this. The scene in the Dave Chappelle show, or the Rick James episode, where he goes to Eddie Murphy's house and he's stomping on his couch and he destroys his couch and he says, "You're rich, you can buy another one." Like that's like that version of Rick James in the Dave Chappelle show. That is Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, you can just get another ticket. Just buy another ticket. Catch another flight. You can afford it. Yeah, it is.
If you guys want any boxing content out there, the World Boxing Super Series has you covered. They've announced their next tournament, guys. And it's happening ASAP. It's a video game tournament.
Wait. You don't play e-boxing.
You don't play that. You don't play that, man. Serious shit right there. I would be more hyped about this if I could play Fight Night Champions, but I have a PlayStation and
it sucks.
It's not backwards compatible for that, only for the Xbox. So fuck this. But yeah, look, shout out to them for trying to do something in the meantime.
Innovative.
Well, I wouldn't say it's innovative because esports has been a thing for a few years now.
Yeah,
but catching on a wave that's been innovative, that's smart. Like, yeah. I'm shocked that we don't see, maybe they are, and I just don't know it. I'm shocked we're not seeing more athletes in boxing go to like Twitch and streaming video games, because you see that in mainstream sports. Like every NBA player is now streaming on Twitch and playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or some shit because they're bored as hell.
Yeah.
And they're generating revenue that way too. I'm shocked boxers aren't doing that to some degree right now in this time.
I'm shocked Butterbean is in the draw.
Did he actually make it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Get out of here.
He's the eighth. He's the eighth. Let me get the list. I'll find the list.
I didn't know the list was finalized yet.
Yeah, they've done the draw.
I know they had Ali. And by the way, remember, God, look at this image of Ali that they use. Oh my God. Look at that. That's white face.
I mean, look, it's you know the production of the World Boxing Super Series. Step into the light.
I don't remember the game being this bad in terms of his visuals.
Yeah, what version are they using? Is it from the Game Boy?
Like, look at the shade of his face and the shade of his body. It's two different colors. He has like the Michael Jackson on right now. Like, come on.
Hang on, I'm gonna get the draw, and we can predict.
Coach Mitty is saying Butterbean is fighting Mike Tyson first. Oh my god,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I think it is.
that's so. Too bad this is only on Facebook. I don't have Facebook anymore. I would totally watch this and laugh at it.
Okay. March 23rd, quarterfinal number 1, Muhammad Ali versus Evander Holyfield.
All right, that's okay.
Tuesday, March 24th.
Before, who would win that fight?
It was Holyfield versus who? I didn't hear the first name.
Muhammad Ali, Holyfield.
Ali's too skilled for him.
I don't know, man, because Holyfield would probably be bigger than Ali. If real talk, like, let's be honest.
Not taller. I mean, they probably weigh close to the same, about 215, right? But Ali was like 6'4", Holyfield 6'2.5".
Do you know the PEDs that Holyfield was on? Come on, man.
Oh, he was on the good stuff. He was on the prime stuff. Yeah.
Was he number one? Was he number one in your greatest heavyweights of all time?
He was on both high. I was 7 on my list.
The argument of that list is we're including like career and longevity. We're including other things. We're talking about like prime versus prime. Who wins a fight? It's a different conversation.
And you're asking who wins out of Muhammad Ali and Evander Holyfield?
Yeah, I think it's a close fight.
It's close because they're both all-time greats, but I mean, Ali's probably too skilled for him. Yeah,
it's a close fight if it's a 4-rounder.
Who do you think is not competitive in the fight?
Ali wins that easy.
Easy. He beats Evander Holyfield easily. Has anyone ever in the history of the world beaten Evander Holyfield easy?
Did he ever fight Muhammad Ali?
Riddick Bowe twice. Riddick Bowe.
Easy. The first fight was the greatest fight I ever saw. That was amazing.
Anyway,
I have another easy. And the third fight, Bowe got knocked down. It was nearly stopped.
Anyway, Matt, who are you picking?
I'm picking Ali, but I think that's
right. So across the board, Gary said Ali's too skillful.
Move on. Move on.
Tuesday, 24th of March, quarterfinal 2, Lennox Lewis versus Smoking Joe Frazier.
Joe Frazier. I'm picking Joe Frazier.
He's gonna walk right into an uppercut. He's gonna be doing well until he's not, and Lewis is gonna end it with one uppercut.
In their prime, Lennox Lewis wins this.
Lewis is great.
Dude, Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Oliver McCall.
It's true. Joe Frazier only lost to Foreman and Ali. Lennox Lewis also beat everyone he's ever fought. Lewis beat Holyfield twice. The first one was a draw, but the first one wasn't even close.
Prime Foreman beats Lennox Lewis.
Does prime Mike Tyson beat Lennox Lewis?
We're not asking that. We're asking prime Frazier.
Probably not. I wouldn't.
Prime Frazier. That's the question.
I'm taking Lewis.
I'm picking prime Frazier.
Frazier was what, 5'10"? Lewis is 6'5".
He's one of the greatest inside fighters of all time.
You're allowed to pick Frazier. It's not ridiculous to pick Frazier. I'm picking Lennox Lewis.
You're wrong.
But
we're all gonna get extra.
What's scary is it's crazy to agree with Gary, but I'm picking Lennox as well.
Well, Gary's a secret fanboy of Lennox Lewis.
No, I'm a Holyfield fan. I couldn't stand Lewis because Lewis was the guy that beat Holyfield. I'm just recognizing his greatness, right? Like,
no. You've bigged up Lennox Lewis a lot on this show.
He's great because he's the 4th best heavyweight I've ever.
Next
fight. It's Mike Tyson against Butterbean, which, let me send you the picture, but Butterbean is nearly as white as Muhammad Ali. Oh, man. Yeah, Tyson Butterbean. Think of it in terms of the actual game. Butterbean's probably loaded with power, right, in the game.
Hold on. I can't get off this. Coach Mitty, how do you get on the inside if you can't get past the jab? What the fuck are you talking about?
He got past Ali's jab.
And Ali has, like, if we're going to list the greatest jabs in heavyweight history, Ali is in that top 3.
But the top 3 is
Lennox Lewis and
Ali and Larry Holmes. Yeah.
Yes. And Joe Frazier got past that jab every time, but Ali is also such a great inside fighter. Ali was so multifaceted. I don't think Lennox Lewis was as multifaceted. I think Larry Holmes was way more multifaceted than Lennox Lewis.
Ali didn't have the power Lewis did, though. Lewis can end it with one uppercut.
But he's not okay. He's not finishing Frazier, but whatever. Moving on.
Final matchup.
He finished Tommy Morrison, Matt.
Great Tommy Morrison.
He finished Razor Ruddock, Matt.
Wait. I
Hey,
don't
Razor Ruddock was cool.
Huh.
I liked him more than Tommy Morrison.
know. Thursday, 26th.
Morrison had cracks, though. Like, people joke on Morrison. Yo, Morrison could crack. Morrison is equivalent to a shorter Deontay Wilder.
No, he's a Joe Smith Jr.
Okay. Joe Smith Jr. as a heavyweight?
Yeah.
I can live with that.
So he's an honorable mention hype job. Okay. Thursday, 26th of March, George Foreman versus David Hay.
Oh, poor David Hay. It is not going well for you, man.
Prime against prime.
I'm George Foreman could beat anyone, arguably.
Oh, yeah. Foreman destroys Hay. Inside 2 rounds.
So a prime Hay means no bad toe.
No
Right.
bad toe.
Ooh, game changer.
And honestly, it might not even mean heavyweight.
Yeah, prime Hay's a cruiserweight, right?
Yeah. But again, like Foreman was what at that time in the heavyweight division, 220? He wasn't like a 240, 250 heavyweight back then, was he? No.
No. But 220, 225, which is Big George, that was like as big as they got. Yeah.
Yeah, that was big back then, of course. But he was what? How tall is George Foreman?
He was shorter than Ali, so maybe 6'3", 6'4".
Okay.
So yeah, Gary, no Larry Holmes in the World Boxing Super Series.
Crazy, man. Though I don't think Larry Holmes is on the game. I don't think Larry Holmes is in the game.
No, I guess he can't have been because but Butterbean is. Go figure.
Because Larry Holmes is better than Lennox Lewis.
Everybody.
Oh, he was your number one, right?
Yeah, he was Gary's number one, but he's better than Lennox.
I don't understand. Lennox Lewis, Matt Lewis was great.
He is. I put him in the top 3 top jabbers in heavyweight history.
Okay, and then
What was he on my list?
You three had Tyson Fury on your list, right?
yeah,
We all did.
Yeah.
I think whoever
Lewis is better than Fury.
whoever is the leader of this era is going to end up in that list. So if it ends up being AJ, he will
So
supplant.
you made your list now, currently.
But that because I had to, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Usyk.
No.
Usyk, he's got to put a run together. He's got to do it in like the next 2 years. He's got to be AJ and Fury. Come on.
On Box Rec, he is in the top 20
Of all time.
heavyweights.
Usyk?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the top 20.
Of all time.
He beat Jeff Horn.
Wait, Usyk beat Jeff Horn. I'm
No,
not.
I'm just saying, if you beat Jeff Horn, you automatically go to the top of the list.
Yeah. Wait, really? Usyk is in the
I'm pretty sure when I was looking at it for the show on Friday,
BoxRec's flawed as fuck. How could he be? He's had
one fight.
he dominated Tim Witherspoon, so I guess. Yeah.
Chaz.
That's what I
Tim would
meant.
have been impressive. Tim was the heavyweight champ for
Yo, if
a
Usyk
cup of coffee.
somehow get a time machine and go back and fight an undefeated Tim Witherspoon, I'll give him way more respect.
Than Chaz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Droopy.
But guys, that's it for today's show. Oh wait, hold on. We have last topic.
It better be what I hope it is.
Oh, I don't know. Then it's the Earl Spence saying that he's confident. So
Go
what
on.
do you want? What do you want?
I wanted Warrington Kanzu. Eddie Hearn saying it's virtually done, and that Kanzu is going to be elevated to super champ, and also for the Ring Magazine belt.
I thought I mentioned that for Friday's show. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I just don't think it's happening anytime soon. Same with like Earl Spence saying that he's going to fight.
I was going to say same with everything we've said tonight, other than the World Boxing Super Series video game. Fucking
That is guaranteed to happen. Guaranteed.
although aren't gamers supposed to lay off the internet right now?
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid. So stupid. The amount of data that video gaming uses.
It's using up all the bytes.
All the bytes. But guys, that's gonna be it for today's show. Because I mean, I want to talk about Warrington Shanshu or Shushan when that is more relevant. To be quite honest,
Is it more irrelevant?
more relevant.
It sounds like you're saying irrelevant.
More relevant.
Okay, thank you.
Jesus fucking Christ, Rob. Get your ears checked, bro.
Outro music.
But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today's show. Hit the like button, share the show, all of that fun stuff. Subscribe. Patreon.com/MixClimateRadio. $1 a month is all you need to support the channel. All of our content is still free.
All you need is one.
What's that famous Beatles song?
All you need is $1 to be a patron.
But guys, have a good one. Hit the like button, all that fun stuff. I'm MMA Hunter MCR on all social media platforms. Rob.
UK Rob MCR, Instagram and Twitter. Go to mixcombatradio.com. Check out my article from the response to Glovegate from the California State Athletic Commission. If Matt was on the point, he'd be putting it in the chat right now, but it's fine.
I'm not gonna hurt the system anymore. You know my computer's struggling.
By adding a comment. Okay.
Well, I would have to pull it up. So the page would have to load.
I'll try and do it quick when Gary's doing his. But yeah, we'll try and bring some more shows. I don't know. Top 5 greatest entrances or top 5 or top 20, something or other, you know. We'll try and get that happening. But and maybe there'll be news. Maybe we'll all wake up and coronavirus isn't even happening. It was just a dream. And we'll all have some boxing to watch. I tweeted yesterday at Eddie Hearn, what time's the main event? Oh no, it doesn't matter. Sad face. It's like, damn, it's been rough, huh? But look, the heroes are all in the hospitals right now. All we've got to do is sit tight and sit on the couch. I think we can all manage that, right? So, stay safe, wash your hands, do the right thing, stay at home. Gary.
Good show today. Lively debate. Rob, thank you for being a doctor. Thank you. From Texas to the world. Oh, follow me on all forms of social media, 3D Boxing, 3D Boxing blog. From Texas to the world, thank you, and God bless.
Wait, you're too fast, Gary. I'm trying to put it in the freaking chat. My article, my debut.
Oh, yeah, read that article, too. It's good. Rob did good work.
I've got it on the all-time heavyweights debate. Where's today's show?
Anyways, guys, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. Like I said, patreon.com/MixClimateRadio. We are definitely getting hit by the lack of content that is just available. Like we can't generate as many videos and shows and views, etc. So that has hurt our revenue on the show in terms of being able to self-fund. So patreon.com/MixClimateRadio would be helpful. Super chat as well. But we also know that it's a worldwide pandemic. People can't work. So
I get you.
If you can't pay, that's fine. That's why we still have the show completely free.
Do you want to just make news up? Be like AJ signed to fight Wilder in October, and then just make things up and see if it, like clickbait.
So like every other boxing YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Wait. Saying how breaking your hand several times and having metal pins in it can somehow create a cybernetic hand that gives you more power. Shit like that. Like we could just create those types of videos and content.
Well, he had his hand halfway up in the glove and shit like that.
Oh, I mean that's ridiculous. That we've talked about that. I remember we made a whole article about that, Rob, about how
debunked,
lawyered. Guys. Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world, and stay safe out there. And like everyone is saying, including us, stay inside, please.
Oh, and then
be healthy. Hold on. And for all of your grandparents or parents, please be smart in these times. Please.
And go check out the great remake of Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. He's playing it in front of the fireplace. Got the guitar there.
Doing a live concert.
Washing hands, and then it's "Don't touch me, I won't touch you."
That Instagram chat is just all Brits, and it just perplexes me why that is such an anthem over there. So weird.
It's great.
Anyways, bye.